Our second speaker today is Dr. Geoffrey Hayes, a 2009 graduate from Creighton and member of the inaugural class of the new honors program. Dr. Hayes, who earned his MD in 2013, is Assistant Professor of Clinical Emergency Medicine and Pediatrics at Indiana University, and his talk is entitled, Who's Mentoring Whom? Cura Personalis in a Complex World.
I am so thrilled to be here speaking with you today. Although I will say, when you get an email from like the director of the honors program that you graduated from, asking if you'll come give a talk, it feels more like an ask-tell than an actual question. We all know what an ask-tell is? Yeah, right? Imagine, so I wander a lot when I talk. We call it rambling and wandering. But imagine, waking up in the middle of the night next to your bed partner and you feel hot and you turn over to your bedmate and you say, I feel hot. Do you feel hot? That's not a question that you're asking them about you feeling hot. That's an order to go change the air conditioner so you can feel colder. That's what just happened to me. I have the best job in the world. It is my job to see people who are in the midst of crisis, who come to me unexpectedly, and my job is to either stop that crisis in its tracks or slow it down. It is an incredible privilege. And more so than that, I get to teach people how to do it. These are my residencies and residents in the Combined Emergency Medicine and Pediatrics Residency Program at Indiana University. Through their teaching, through their studies, and through their practice, they learn the skills and they learn the knowledge and they learn the judgment that's needed to be competent emergency medicine physicians and to be competent pediatricians at the same time. This takes an extreme amount of discussion and mentoring and coaching. It is also my job at my department to seek out policies that prevent our members from seeking their potential, to institute policies that will help fan the flames and fuel them to the top of their professionalism and create a department in which everyone can thrive. That's my job as Vice Chair of Strategic Engagement for my department. And that is the experience that I bring to this talk to discuss who's mentoring whom, Cura Personalis in a Complex World. I did not know it at the time, but it was my studies here at Creighton that really set the foundation for how I approach mentoring of my residents and of my students. It is that foundational teaching and the Jesuit values that I bring every day to my work and that I'm really excited to share with you now. For those of you who don't know, I have been warped by the Jesuits for long before Creighton University entered my life. I started in Jesuit high school back in Arizona and then came here for undergraduate largely because of the honors program and then stayed on for medical school. All right, brief show of hands just to give me a sense of who are you? What's happening? Who are these people here? Who is a current student in the honors program? Strongest group represented. Well done, everyone. Who is a former student in the honors program? Okay, excellent, fabulous. Who is a faculty or a staff currently? And you might fall into many of these categories. And then how about a parent or a friend or a member of the public or just a general hanger-on of some sort? All right, welcome to everyone. You are all invited and encouraged to participate. Okay, now that we know that our hands are working, next question. How many of you, either now or in the past during your education or professional development, had one or more mentors? Okay, keep your hands up. Aha, I got you. How many of you, keep your hands raised if this is true, chose that mentor or one of your mentors entirely or in part based on one of their personal identifying characteristics? So think about, okay, this is pretty good, right? I wanted to go into medical school. Okay, put your hands down. I am a gay man. I am curious in what that specific identity brings to that professional environment. I sought out the opinion of those people. What I learned through that journey and through identity-based mentoring is what shapes my professional career today. So what we're going to talk about here is identity-based mentoring, mentorship that is grounded in your identity and your mentor's identity, part of the Jesuit values? And how do we execute those in our daily lives? All right, so we're gonna do some acclamation. Who knows what that is? Acclamation is fun. Acclamation is when we all just have boisterous and loud agreement about generally agreeable things. So I'm going to put up a statement, and then I'm going to request for the group to either shout if you agree or disagree with the statement. Does that sound good? The loudest shouters win. That's how acclamation works. All right. Mentoring is a critical component of success in a Jesuit education. Yes. Yes, all right, strong yeses. I expect my mentors to know about me as an individual. Yes. Yes, same. I deserve my own college experience. Yes. Yes, and I think for those of you who are writing the checks to the big Creighton, you expect that for whoever you're writing the checks on behalf of, right? There's something that's really important about mentoring and mentorship that goes far beyond what we teach in the classroom, and that is why we come to places like this or places where we can engage that sort of mentoring in a way that is going to foster our foundational values, but also challenge us to grow more. So, mentorship, noun. Who wants to define this term? What is mentorship?
Process of shaping someone's trajectory.
Yes, love it. You would agree with that? Mentorship is guidance. Mentorship is advice. Mentorship is sponsorship. Mentorship occurs in a relationship between someone who's more experienced in a field and someone who is less experienced in the field. You will have many mentors throughout your life, but for those of you who are currently in the midst of your undergraduate studies, you are probably looking to get a job someday, right? All the parents are shaking their heads, yes. Success in the professions is heavily reliant upon mentorship of people in that profession, right? You want the inside scoop. You want those relationships. You want to know where, things are going to go right or things are going to go wrong for you. That occurs in a driven, structured, fruitful relationship between a mentor and a mentee. All right, let's make it a little bit harder. Cura Personalis. What is this? It's on every single banner that I have seen around the school.
Care for the whole person.
Care for the whole, yes.
View of a person. You can't just focus on their academics.
Right.
They might be struggling with something else.
Something more, right? So there's something about a person which is more than just the one thing that we are here to do or that brings us together. All right, let's expand on that. And no more raising hands, just shouting. I'm an emergency medicine physician. Just interruptions everywhere. Let's do it. All right, care for the whole person, more so than what's in front of you. What else?
Caring for every aspect of their identity.
Caring for every aspect of their identity. I think that's very interesting because those identities are brought to that relationship and they might impact the way someone's mentored. Anyone else?
Meeting someone where they're at.
Meeting someone where they're at. Absolutely. Is that what you were saying too? Look at that. All right, mentee, mentor. There we go. Connections made. We're going to reach back for a little bit of help. Who knows who this is? I would be super impressed if you did. What's that?
Is it Pedro Urban?
No. You're on the right track, though.
Peter von Stoltenbach?
Almost. He is a foremost superior general of the Society of Jesus. This is Vladimir Ledkowski. I apologize for my inappropriate pronunciation. In a treatise entitled, what was that thing called? New Instructions. He wrote to American Jesuit universities this statement. It's one of the earliest descriptions of this idea of Cura Personalis. He did not write the words Cura Personalis, but certainly the spirit we're talking about lives here. The personal care of students by which Jesuits, beyond the teaching and example provided in the classes, endeavor to direct and help individuals by means of good counsel and exhortation. I think that sounds pretty good. But 1934 is a little bit of a way back. So let's try to bring it a little bit more into the modern age. This is an excerpt from the International Commission on the Apostolate of the Jesuit Education from 1986, 1 year before I was born and probably like 40 years before most of you guys were born. Teachers take a personal interest in the intellectual, affective, moral, and spiritual development of every student. Cura Personalis, concern for the individual person, remains a basic characteristic of Jesuit education. I think we can see the leap from one to the other. Let's make everybody really uncomfortable. Our core values, Creighton University. I don't know if this was written in 2025, but I downloaded it off of the website in 2025, so I'm going to count it as current. Under Cura Personalis, translated, this means care for the individual person. It means respecting each person as a child of God, along with all of God's creations, regardless of creed or background. Cura Personalis challenges us to dig deeper, to understand each person's gifts, challenges, and needs. You will see through, oh my God, it's almost 100 years since 1934. Throughout this 90-year span of time, this concept of care for the individual person has permeated and threaded itself through this concept of Cura Personalis. It lands us right here today. And so let's play our game again. What's an individual? What makes me, me, and you, you, and your mom, and your dad, your dad?
Are you uniqueness?
Jump into that for me. Exactly. Unique how?
Collective experiences.
Collective experiences, so experiences we share with others.
And over your life.
Over the culmination of life. So we have multiple experiences. Love it. Let's keep going on this train.
What's millions of variable characteristics that make every single person absolutely unique.
Yes, and so even though you and I might share something about ourselves, our, what am I going to say? Love for chess, or we were both born on the West Coast, what have you. Maybe we were both snubbed by the same taxi driver in New York. We have enough of these very unique characteristics that lead us to become one unique individual, even though any one particular thing might be shared with many individuals. Does that feel reasonable? So what are these things that come together that make me a Jeff Hayes and make him a Jeff Hawes? Right? They are our relationships. They are our traumas. They are our abilities. They are our attitudes. They are the way that we are treated, the way that we treat other people. They are our challenges. They are our victories. They are our resources. They are our privileges. They are our oppressions. They are all of these and many, many other things that come together. We are large. We contain multitudes. Who's this? Walt Whitman. Are you an English professor?
Classics.
Oh, there we go. I was hoping Bridget Keegan would be here so I could really just be like, does she really know English or is she just putting us on? There we go. So this is Walt Whitman. He has one of my favorite quotes about individualism and being an individual. And so it's, do I contradict myself? Very well, I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. And that is a framework I want us to have as we continue this discussion. The things that make me a Jeff Hayes and make him a Jeff Hawes might overlap in some way, but the elements that came together are vast. And even though I am one person and you are one person and you are one person and you are one person, inside of us, there are all these different things that come together to make us that one person. So when we talk about the individual with all of their experiences and their mores and their beliefs and their resources and their abilities, their identities, their privileges, and all of these different ways that we kind of label and categorize, right? And all these different terms that we use to figure out who are we? Who am I? When we go down this list of terms, we talk about sex, gender, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, where I came from, lived experiences. The individual is so much more than just a collection of labels, right? These binary yes or no codes that go back and forth. But we're talking about a mentoring relationship where there are two individuals involved. So when the mentee brings all of their multitudes into the relationship and the mentor brings all of their multitudes into the relationship, we have this combination of identities and experiences and lived life that impact that very unique and very special relationship that leads us to a positive mentoring relationship. So anytime you interact with another person, or if you are mentoring someone junior to you, or if you are being mentored by someone senior to you, you bring your multitudes to that relationship, and so does that person. And the better that they can evaluate and align those things, the better the mentoring relationship will be. Perhaps. We just heard a wonderful talk about collective narcissism in the echo chamber, which is about where we're going to go next. But every good mentoring relationship must start with some area of commonality. And it might be as a parent, as a professional interest that you want to explore, right? That's why you're going to go seek that mentoring relationship in the first place. You might also seek out the unique lived experiences of somebody who has a similar identity to you, with the hopes that some experiences that might be commonly shared amongst people of that identity might be of use to you, and that person might bring you some advice or some resources that would be uniquely beneficial to you in the moment. So it's in these areas where we find overlap that we can build this mentoring relationship in a strong way. But it's in the areas where there are not overlap, in the areas of difference, where we really see the greatest benefit and we can really push the boundary. It's about coming together over the things that bind us and exploring the things where we diverge to create a more holistic and a more diverse and a more broad base for mentoring people into professions. Oh, okay. This is to remind me to ask you, who had a banana for breakfast? One person? 2, 3, only 3 banana eater, 4, 5. Okay, here we go. People are getting brave now. I have sad news for you all. You all ate the same banana. You may not be aware of this, but almost every single banana sold in major grocery store chains in the United States are genetically identical. They are clones of the same Cavendish banana. Julie Sokup is agreeing with me, so I know I'm correct. You all ate the same banana. And this is one of the areas where identity-based mentorship can go wrong if we don't do it correctly. If you create a group of people solely around one identity that ignores all of the facets and all of the multitudes of all of these other identities that we bring to the table, we start cloning ourselves. Then we develop this echo chamber. We don't grow. We don't change. We sacrifice this trajectory we were on for comfort. And that comfort, which is supposed to provide a place where you might ask the risky question that you might not ask somebody else because you feel a sense of kinship, or you feel a sense of ability to ask that question to somebody with a similar identity to you, is lost. And we just sit there, not pushing, not trying, agreeing with each other in circles and circles. And we just all become bananas. If I told my chair that I was going to turn all of my residents into bananas, I'd be fired in 2 seconds. This is the risk that we have in this type of mentorship, which is a shame because the data shows us time and time again, identity-based mentorship can reduce imposter syndrome and increase professional fulfillment and success of all of the people who participate in identity-based mentorship, especially for people who are underrepresented in a particular field. So, we talk a lot about trying to equalize representation of everyone across all these professions. We have many professions where the representation or the people practicing in that profession are homogenous in one or another demographic. We get into trouble when we assume that that leads to groupthink and no creativity. We also get into trouble when we assume that a diversity of voices or making sure that people have equal access to opportunities is not of value and is not going to shape the way in which we practice moving forward. Good mentorship is meant to be a window. You are to look through it and expand your worldview. If it is simply a mirror and you're sitting there in your mentoring relationship and all you're seeing is yourself and all you're getting is agreement back, or you're looking to your mentee and all you have is the same agreement back and forth, there's no challenge, there's no growth, that is a toxic mentoring relationship. So when we think back to these statements about care for the individual person, and we think about things that make one an individual and distinct from another person, we really need to bring that into this mentoring relationship to truly execute the values of Cura Personalis as they had been previously described. I would say described by St. Ignatius, but to my knowledge, he never wrote those words once in his life. Nonetheless, it is a critical component of Jesuit education. It is a critical component of any educational or professional development program. It is entirely in line with Jesuit moral teaching and Jesuit values, and is something that we are dedicated to pursue. So where does that leave us? To all of you in this room who are seeking mentors, which really should be everybody, no one's done being a mentor. I encourage you to seek out mentors who have similar identities to you. I encourage you to seek out mentors who have differing identities to you, and to get and to see these people where they're at and to grow as much as you can. Through this, we can build stronger professionals, we can have a more reasonable debate, and you can get yourself into professions and places where you are then mentoring the next generation of professionals to come after you. That's it. Thank you.